As an entertainer, I feel as if I should give the public something. They expect something from me. Unless I dress up, I don't feel as if I'm ready to do the show. And, you know, if people are going to pay money, then you should make an effort. And I'm a great believer in that. When I did the Australian tour with the orchestra, and the first half, I wore those ridiculous Bob Mackie outfits, which, you know, I thought would make me look slim because I was very big in those days. And I would come up with a mohawk wig the first half. In the second half, I'd dress up like Beethoven. A lot of people thought I didn't need to dress up like that because the music was good. And they were right. But things like the Donald Duck thing in Central Park were great fun.
My name is Jim. I'm 37 years old. I've been an Elton John fan probably as long as I can remember. I think Elton has had an influence on who I am. I'm an only child, and so I went to the radio, I went to television to be sort of that new friend. Elton John at the time in the early 70s really was the dominant figure in entertainment. I think I was probably initially drawn in as a young kid, especially by the flamboyance. Obviously, you can see the way I'm dressed. I'm not the most conservative of people.
But, you know, I was never about taste anyway. I was always about kitsch. I was never going to be David Bowie or Mick Jagger or Freddie Mercury or Alice Cooper. I was never thin Iggy Pop style rock and roll. I was dumpy, so I mean I couldn't really go for trying out to be sexy. I had to be kitsch.
When I went to see my first concert, which was in 1976 at the Chicago Stadium, my mom took me.
Well, he pleaded with me to take him to the Elton John concert, and I was really reluctant to take it. First of all, it was long distance, and I really wasn't too sure that I enjoyed him.
We had good seats. We were behind the stage. We were only 6 rows away, though, and suddenly there he was, jumping around, in person, live, and it really was just a shock.
After an hour and a half of listening to that concert and watching him with his magnificent hands, I became a fan, stood up and started cheering, and I've been a fan ever since.
There's a calm surrender to the rush of day.
I respect his artistic ability, certainly in his music, but I really have become a great admirer of who he is. He founded the AIDS Foundation because of his relationship with Ryan White. He allowed the world to make a mark on him, and now he's done good.
Jim will never leave his wife for another woman, but he might leave her for Elton John.
I knew that Jim loved Elton John from the very beginning.
She grew up in the same time period, so she's an Elton John fan. She's not a crazy fan.
But right before we got married, Jim threatened with giving me an Elton test.
I think she knew what she was getting in for.
Ended up that he didn't, so I guess he had faith in me that I'd pass. Or maybe he just thought that he'd have somebody who would allow an Elton John room in their house, so who knows.
And this is my Elton John room. This is my fortress of solitude, like Superman needed. You know, I come here.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Shaw down to Brighton, I must have played them all.
Well, I've literally been collecting Elton John memorabilia from when I started at 9 years old.
I collect art, I collect photographs, I collect God knows what. But I'm financially very solvent, and yeah, I like to spend money.
What I try to collect are things that have meant something to me and have a special memory. If you're an Elton John fan, one of the holy grails is to own a pair of Elton's glasses. And the reason that I wanted a pair of these glasses were these were the glasses that he wore during that 1976 tour. This is one of my favorite posters, one of my favorite pictures. Elton played Dodger Stadium, the first person to play Dodger Stadium since the Beatles in 1975. There he is, just conquering that crowd of over 55,000 people.
That was amazing. I mean, 2 days at Dodger Stadium in 1975 with people like Cary Grant coming to see me, and it was the culmination of my 5-year success period from 70 to 75, which culminated for me in playing 2 dates there.
So goodbye, and the downtown society house.
At a young age, I sat in my room, looked around at the walls, and said, how do I meet Elton John? Well, who gets to talk to Elton John? Reporters do. I'll become a reporter. I'll meet Elton John. Well, one day I was in the back of the classified section of Rolling Stone magazine just reading, and there was a little blurb that said, Elton John fan magazine, and it has an address.
I have a couple of fanzines, one in Europe called Hercules, one in America called Eastern Lights.
I thought, hey, this would be great to subscribe to. But I also wrote a letter and said, my name is Jim Turano. I'm a journalist. I know a lot about Elton John. If you need someone to help write some stories, let me know. And gave him a couple ideas, and 9 years later, and now I'm actually the editor-in-chief. It truly is a labor of love, and I don't know anyone else who's probably chronicled Elton's career in the last 10 years more consistently than I have, so it's been great. Gone to concerts, gone to sound checks, it's just been a great experience.
They can spot your strength, and they can spot your weaknesses, and one thing that they have been doing to me is saying, you know, please play more piano on your albums, because we come to the shows and we love the piano.
One of my goals has been to be on the radio. I frequently appear on shows here in Chicago to talk about new movies, to talk about pop culture.
Are you ready for some Elton John trivia?
Good morning, everybody.
And of course, when the time is right on one of these appearances, if something's going on in Elton world, I'm able to sneak that in.
Gary, on Thanksgiving 1974, Elton John played Madison Square Garden, and John Lennon appeared, which was his last appearance ever in concert. What did Elton John and John Lennon perform at that concert?
Elton's cover, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
He's got it! Yeah! He's got it!
You know, I've seen Elton in concert 80 times, okay? So I've seen my share. I've seen him in every phase of his career. If you're an Elton fan, you have to go to Madison Square Garden to see him, because that's his favorite venue. And so whenever he plays Madison Square Garden, any Elton fan worth his or her salt is in New York. A couple years ago in New York, I fought my way down to the front, and I got right in front of him, literally right in front of him, hands on the stage, for the whole almost 3-hour show, and as usual, sang every word, played my air piano, and they had big video screens up and they were taping this, and they must have saw me singing along, so they show Elton, they cut to Mary J. Blige, and then they cut to me, and I'm singing Picture My Face in Your Hands, and of course it's Elton's voice, but I'm mouthing it, and it's almost as if it's not a duet with him and Mary J. Blige, it's the three of us.
I've been to Elton John shows with Jim, where he's got the straw hat and the funny glasses. I'm just glad that we never saw Elton John when he was wearing the pink feathers and the fur boas.
I have a lot of lookalikes. You come to the still wear big glasses and glittery glasses and glittery outfits and things that light up during a concert. And it's kind of sweet. It makes that much more fun for me when things like are going on, you know. And once you see a crazy fan, it's like, fine, we're all right.
I truly doubt that Jim will ever grow out of this. Most definitely not. And why should he? I mean, he enjoys it.
If Elton John had never been born, I probably would be a different person. I just want to thank, Stanley and Sheila, his parents, for that one night of ecstasy, because it's helped my life quite a bit.